pile. Yes, I haven't done one of these for a little while actually. Got a Sinclair C5 in, which is cool. So yeah, liking the style on this baby, particularly the front spotlights on there. But yes, basically it was working last year, and then it just stopped working. So yeah, had a quick look, put the power on quickly, little flick. I could hear the relay clicking, but there's no power. So what I initially did was I could see the motor was absolutely dusty as hell, covered in crap, loads of corrosion in the end, all that sort of stuff. So I took the motor off, gave it a rebuild. The end bearing is on its way out, and I'll tell the owner that basically it's fine for the moment, but it's definitely on its way out because the way it's so exposed, and it's obviously, you know, got a lot of dust and dirt and crap in this end here. So that's a bit bad, that bearing there. The rest of it actually is not too bad in there, so that was good. So checked it out, rebuilt it, happy days for that. Still didn't work obviously properly, so I had a look at it, and yes, you can sort of see the faults here. That was it there. So obviously it's not conducting the electricity correctly. So often, you know, the diode like D1 here often blows as well, and various other parts blow, but it was sort of doing stuff. It just wasn't able to dish the power out. So I double checked the motor, set onto the battery. Yep, span beautifully. That's cool. And had a little look, and yeah, and basically you can sort of tell that it was just struggling to conduct anything across these. So yeah, I'm going to take the board off now, and ultimately replace these bolts. Clean it all up. You know, either clean this up or replace this piece of metal here. I'm not sure yet. So I'll have a look at this and see what I can do with that. But yeah, that is not going to help. Right, let me crack on with that baby. Right then, yes, the first job, obviously remove it and clean everything up. So this obviously is the board underneath here, which is all the damage on. I've cleaned up the connection here, and there's the diode there. Now the actual connection from this red wire doesn't obviously go on the board. It doesn't actually, you know, the power doesn't actually transmit through this board as such. It obviously just goes through the bolt connected to this shiny bit of terminal here, which then goes into the diode in here and here. So you haven't actually got to technically repair this board. There's no particular reason to. This is just so you can bolt it together basically. So yes, so now that's cleaned up on there, I can then use a combination of a nice new, you know, washer, nut and bolts on each side, get it clamped down really secure, so that basically that heat doesn't build up, and obviously which is also what causes things to burn out, sort of corrosion and heat. Same for this one here. You know, you can obviously, you know, go and get another piece of metal like this and connect the two together, or if you wanted to, you could effectively use one nut and bolt effectively, and connect them together with nut and bolt and washers as well. So depending on what you've got, you know, what you've got in stock basically. But ideally, you know, a new piece of metal there, do it properly. Use two new bolts, new nuts and washers, etc., and join it all together. So yes, let me crack on with that repair. Right, and so there we go. So yeah, that's the repair done there. So all I did is add a little just a brand new bracket from, you know, B&Q or whatever, to cut up using the Dremel. So you can sort of see you need quite a lot of stuff, you know, to do this. And yeah, and just cut off, used brand new stainless steel bolts on here, and new nuts, washers, etc. And on the end there is another stainless steel nut bolt washer combination, and that's all looking good. You can see it's a little bit lopsided. I'd like to get it straight, but that's actually just damaged where it's melted the panel underneath. It's just made a really big elongated hole on this side, that's all. But this is completely and utterly sorted as it is right now. So yeah, I'm really pleased with that. So yeah, now I'm gonna just double check there's nothing else damaged on the board, and then yeah, bolt it in again and see if it works. Cool. Right, yep, so it's all on. So I just used the Dremel and the wire brush just to clean the contacts on the end of the wires, so they're all mint. This was actually running the little wire modification here, which normally is for the lights. It's also running just one of the temperature sort of sender items on here as well. So I would recommend to the owner of this one that he considers sort of looking out for another one to which plugs into the middle here, which then connects to one of these connectors here. But nothing major. So that's on. So that's cool. Quickly connect the battery up. Quickly make sure there's no smoke. Bit of throttle on there. sorted. Yes, that's good. So obviously now I can connect the drive belt up to that. That should then, of course, that will then give me drive, and then that aspect there is done, and put the cover back on there. Job done. Next up is to have a look at the lights, because they've stopped working, and then that's kind of it. Right, I mean, so yes, all connected up. So looking at the pod now, so you can see here when you flicker it and just move it just a little bit, that's where the fault lies. So it's either the red connector, which I've obviously put on the inside, normally it's on the back side. And I put it on the inside here because it's nice to test, but also because the pins are normally clean on the inside. Or it's either the red connector or it's the pins on the pod themselves. It's sort of hard to tell, but what I'll do now is I'll now just turn the power off, and then basically get magnifying glass out and inspect the pins and see what it is, and see if it's, see if it's a red socket or the pins. Right, I'm on it. Right, yes, hi all. So here we go. So I found, definitely found one fault on it, absolutely. So I wasn't sure see if it was the pins or the connector. Now the connector is a bit of a faff to fit. They used to be relatively rare, but you can sort of get them from, like, I think there's one guy on the internet who does sort of sell them basically, but they are sort of still, I think, relatively rare, these connectors. And it's a bit of a faff to fit a little bit, but I feel this is the fault here. So look at these babies here. So those pins there, the solder at the bottom looks good. Boom. The end pin, you can see it's clearly cracked. If I get in there with my finger, see? And this is common basically, because they're old, people have obviously pushed the connectors on and off over the years, and it's just, so it's a lot of pressure pushing down on the pins and held in place by that tiny little blob of solder, which is almost 40 years old. So yeah, I'm going to resolder that, clean up the pins, and then hopefully that gives us a reliable connection on here. And if I have to replace this, obviously it's additional cost to buy the thing and to fit it. If I have to do it, I will. But obviously if I do that and it's a stable connection, then there's no need to do that. Right, right. Yes, as you can see, it's done. So yeah, I've just done a tiny speck of solder on the back pin there, using just a digital soldering iron that I use just to sort of get the adjustment right. And it's all on. If I just try and sort of press the old okay, that's cool. Obviously it's making a noise, yeah, because it's on axle stands, but yes, that feels good. So I'm going to put it together again right now, put it in. Then what I can then do basically is just put it on axle stands properly at the back, and then just run it basically, just see if it's reliable, and then literally just leave it, say switched on, to make a cup of tea, whatever. Right, yes, hi all. So a minute ago when I revved the C5, I thought, oh, it's also making that noise because the wheel was rubbing on the vacuum cleaner, because it was just there, that's all. I just moved the vacuum cleaner, revved it, still did the same, and I could hear the noise was coming from the wheel. I thought, that's a bit weird. So spun the wheel, and it definitely wasn't spinning right. So just taking the wheel off, obviously, and this is what's gone wrong here. So yeah, you basically just got a cone nut failure. So literally I undid that, and then the wheel wouldn't come off. So I looked inside the wheel, and then literally I've never seen this in my entire life. The edge of the cone has snapped off, so you have to get a new cone nut for that. That's gone. I've literally never seen that in my entire life of Sinclair C5 work off there. See, that had snapped off the end. That's obviously why the wheel wasn't spinning right. So yeah, no drama. I would then say, I'll take this bearing out and clean it, but I kind of feel that we would also replace both of the bearings at the same time, because that bearing there is probably not going to be very good. It's probably damaged, I expect. So you just might as well, because it's worth doing whilst it's out. So I'm going to clean it up now. Tell the owner that that's knackered. Otherwise, it was all good, Absolutely sweet as. So yeah, that's all done, apart from it needs a new cone nut. Cool, thanks for watching, yeah, and all the best.